Good morning, all. This session is about the mainly about the classification of porifera and also about the different types of canal system. And before that, I'll just brief what was taught in the previous session. That is, this is a sponge anatomy. Sponge anatomy. We have learned that there are different types of cells in the body of sponge, and sponges are multicellular organisms. And the different types of cells are the outer layer is called the pinacoderm. The outer layer of sponges is the pinacoderm, and just below the pinacoderm there is mesenchyme. This region is the mesenchyme in which the cells are found. Then there is quinoderm. These three are the layers which is found in the body of sponges. Pinacoderm, outer layer. Just beneath the pinacoderm, mesenchyme. Then just beneath the mesenchyme, it's quinoderm, or quinoderm is the innermost layer of the sponges. And the types of cells found are, the outer layer is made up of pinacocytes. They are flattened cells. It's a layer of cells, that is pinacocytes, and beneath the pinacocytes, inside the mesenchyme, there are amoebocytes. Amoebocytes means those cells which does not have a typical shape. Amoebocyte cells can be seen. Then the quinocytes are found. Then spicules are found. The quinocytes are cells which are differentiated differentiated to have food vacuoles. So they help in digestion of the food particles. Then spicules are the skeleton which is found in the body of sponges, and the spicules are found in the mesenchyme region. Then from the pinacocyte extending towards the quinoderm, from pinacoderm, outer layer aya pinacoderm mudala quinoderm vare extend cheyunna oru type cells undu, that is porocytes. So ee porocytes allengil pores are the openings which is found throughout the body of sponges, and they help in the water flow. The water comes from outside and enters into the body of sponge through porocytes. So porocytes are, or pores, are the specialized cells which is found throughout the body of sponges. Then this opening of the porocyte is called the ostium. Water comes this way, enters into the spongocele. And spongocele, just near the spongocele, you can find the quinocyte cells, and from the water, the food particles will enter into this quinocytes, and it is digested by the quinocytes. And this is another overview of a much more descriptive, type of picture. This is the sponge. This is spongocele. Body have large number of openings called the ostia, and the water enters, and this arrow shows the direction of water entry. The water enters from outside to inside. The water enters from outside through ostia into the spongocele. The water enters from outside into the spongocele through the ostia, and the cells are pinacocytes, outer layer of cells, spicules, the skeletal cells. Spicules are of different shapes. Then archaeocytes are cells which are found in the innermost layer. Then amoebocytes are there, porocytes and quinocytes. So the internal cavity is called the spongocele, and the external opening, or the water comes this way, reaches the spongocele, goes out through the main opening called the osculum. This is the overall organization of sponge. Sponges എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് പോറസ് ആണ്. പോർസ് ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് ഓസ്റ്റിയ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പോർസ് വഴി വെള്ളം സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിനകത്തേക്ക് വരുന്നു. അകത്തുനിന്ന് filter feeding ഒക്കെ നടത്തിയതിനു ശേഷം excess water will be moving out of the body of sponges through the osculum. Now, this is about the skeleton. The skeleton system is composed of the skeletal system, or the skeleton of sponge. I have mentioned that's the spicule. Spicule ആണ് സ്പോഞ്ചസിന്റെ skeleton എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Then the skeleton is composed of spicules പലതരത്തിലാകാം. Spicules ഓരോ തരം സ്പോഞ്ചിലും because we are going to study about the classification. I have again mentioning these points once again. So spicules are skeleton. In each type of sponge, the spicule is made up of different substance. In one type of sponge, spicule will be made up of calcium carbonate. Another sponge, it will be made up of silica. In some other sponge, it will be made up of spongin. So, oro chela sponge spicules അല്ലെങ്കിൽ skeleton calcium carbonate കൊണ്ടുണ്ടാക്കിയതായിരിക്കും. ചില സ്പോഞ്ചിൽ സ്പിക്യൂൾസ് സിലിക്ക കൊണ്ടുണ്ടാക്കിയതായിരിക്കാം. ചില സ്പോഞ്ചിൽ സ്പോഞ്ചിൻ ഫൈബേഴ്സ്. അങ്ങനെ പല സ്പോഞ്ച് വേരി ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് ബേസ്ഡ് ഓൺ ദി കെമിക്കൽ കോൺസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂഷൻ ഓഫ് ദി spicules. So the skeleton is composed of pointed structures which are made up of silica or calcium carbonate, and they are found embedded. ഇല്ലേ, നമ്മൾ കണ്ടു ആ ലെയറിൽ പിനാക്കോഡാമിന്റെ കോയനോഡാമിന്റെ ഇടയ്ക്കുള്ള റീജിയനാണ് മീസൻകൈം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന. ആ മീസൻകൈമിൽ they are found embedded, സ്പ്രെഡ് ചെയ്ത് കിടക്കുന്നു. And this skeleton is also made up of protein fibers, and this endoskeleton protects. എൻഡോസ്കെലറ്റൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സ്പിക്യൂൾസിന്റെ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ എന്താണ്? ഒരു സപ്പോർട്ട് കൊടുക്കും. കാരണം this is actually a group of cells. This provides support to the neighboring cells and it protects the sponge. So the calcareous spicules are the large spicules. അപ്പോൾ ഈ സ്പിക്യൂൾസിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്താണ് മെയിൻ ആയിട്ടും സ്പോഞ്ചസ് ക്ലാസിഫൈ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇനി സ്പിക്യൂൾസ് പല ഷേപ്പിലുള്ള സ്പിക്യൂൾസ് ഉണ്ട്. 3 pointed edges ഉള്ള spicules ഉണ്ട്. They are called the triaxons. Triaxons, that means they have pointed structures like this. This is triactin. Then hexactin. Hexa means 6. So 6. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. ഇങ്ങനെ 6 ആക്സസുകൾ ഉണ്ട്. ആൻഡ് ദേ ഹാവ് 6 pointed edges. അതിനെയാണ് ഹെക്സാക്റ്റിൻ സ്പിക്യൂൾ. അപ്പോൾ സ്പിക്യൂൾസിന് എത്ര പോയിന്റഡ് എഡ്ജസ് ഉണ്ടോ അതിനെ ബേസ് ചെയ്ത് സ്പിക്യൂൾസിനെ പലതായിട്ട് ക്ലാസിഫൈ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ട്രയാക്റ്റിൻ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ 3 പോയിന്റഡ് എഡ്ജസ് ഉള്ളത്. ഹെക്സാക്റ്റിൻ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ സ്പിക്യൂൾ ആണ്. സ്പിക്യൂളിന്റെ ടൈപ്സ് ആണ്. ഹെക്സാക്റ്റിൻ മീൻസ് ദേ ഹാവ് 6 pointed edges. Monaxon, that means they have only a single axis. The pointed edges lie only through a single axis. So it is called a monaxon spicule. Tetractin. It is C-T-I-N-E. Tetractin. Tetractin means they have 4 pointed edges. Then polyactin. Here you can see this is polyactin. They have large number of pointed edges. അങ്ങനെ സ്പിക്യൂൾസ് പല തരമുണ്ട്. സ്പിക്യൂൾസിന്റെ ഷേപ്പ് പലതരത്തിലാണ്. ചിലതിന് 3 പോയിന്റഡ് എഡ്ജ് ഉണ്ട്, ചിലതിന് 4 പോയിന്റഡ് എഡ്ജ് ഉണ്ട്, ചിലതിന് ഒരു ആക്സസ് ഉള്ളൂ, 2 എഡ്ജസ് മാത്രമേ കാണുള്ളൂ. അതിനെ മോണോആക്സോൺ. അപ്പൊ ഇതിന്റെയൊക്കെ ബേസിസിലാണ് സ്പോഞ്ചസിന്റെ ക്ലാസിഫിക്കേഷൻ വരുന്നത്. Now, development of spicules. In last class also I have said that the spicules are secreted by specialized amoebocytes. Amoebocytes are actually amoebocytes and the archaeocytes. Both type of cells are actually totipotent cells. Totipotent cells. I think in last class I saw that question only at the end. The amoebocytes or the archaeocytes are the totipotent cells. Means they have the capability to differentiate into any type of cell. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് അമീബോസൈറ്റ്സ് സ്പെഷ്യലൈസ്ഡ് ആയ അമീബോസൈറ്റ്സിനെ സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയും. ആ തരം സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റിൽ നിന്നാണ് സ്പിക്യൂൾസ് ഫോം ചെയ്യുന്നത്. So you can see here this is how a spicule is formed. This is a scleroblast cell. Scleroblast cell divide ചെയ്യുന്നു. The scleroblast cells will undergo division and scleroblast is the primary cell. blast. Blast cell is the primary cell. Scleroblast cell differentiate ചെയ്ത് division നടന്നതിന് ശേഷം sclerocytes ആയിട്ട് മാറുന്നു. Sclerocytes are those cells which get differentiated to form the spicules. Suppose sclerocytes thickened out. The sclerocytes will get thickened and ultimately it form a spicule. So a monoaxon spicule is formed by two sclerocytes. The monoaxon spicules. This is a monoaxon spicule. എന്താണ് സ്പിക്യൂൾസ് ഫോം ചെയ്യുന്ന ഏത് തരം സെല്ലിൽ നിന്നാണ്? സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ്. സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് സെല്ലിൽ രണ്ട് സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് സെൽസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ രണ്ട് രണ്ട് സ്ക്ലീറോസൈറ്റ്സ് നിന്നും ഉണ്ടാകുന്നതാണ് മോണോ ആക്സോൺ സ്പിക്യൂൾ. ഇനി അതേമാതിരി ട്രയാക്സോൺ സ്പിക്യൂൾ. ട്രയാക്സോൺ സ്പിക്യൂൾ എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോഴേക്കും ഒരു സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റിൽ നിന്നും ഇതുമാതിരി കൂടുതൽ സെൽസ് ഡിഫറൻഷിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യും. 6 സ്ക്ലീറോസൈറ്റ്സിൽ നിന്നും 6 sclerocytes. This is scleroblast. Scleroblast. Scleroblast നിന്നും sclerocytes. They undergo division to form the sclerocytes, and the 6 sclerocytes will differentiate or will give rise to a triaxon spicule. അപ്പോൾ സ്പിക്യൂൾ ഫോം ചെയ്യുന്നത് സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് സെല്ലിൽ നിന്നും. സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് സെൽ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താണ്? സ്പെഷ്യലൈസ്ഡ് അമീബോസൈറ്റ് സെൽസ്. എവിടെ കാണുന്നു? മീസെൻകൈമിൽ. അത്തരം സ്ക്ലീറോബ്ലാസ്റ്റ് സെല്ല് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്ത് രണ്ട് സെല്ലായിട്ട് മാറി. അങ്ങനെ രണ്ട് സെൽസ് they undergo hardening by the deposition of silica or spongin or calcium carbonate. അങ്ങനെ അതിന്റെ deposition കൂടിയിട്ട് they form spicules. Now we'll see the water current. So the water circulation, I said the sponges. In sponges or in poriferans, they have a water vascular system. They have the water circulation in the body is in such a way that is the water enters. Why water circulation is important? Because they are found attached at particular area only. ഇല്ലേ, സ്പോഞ്ച് ഒരു പ്രത്യേക സ്ഥലത്ത് പറ്റി പിടിച്ചാണ്ടിരിക്കും. They are sessile. So water current is very important for food particles to enter into their body. ഒരിടത്ത് ഇപ്പൊ നീന്തി നടക്കുന്ന മീനാണെങ്കിൽ ഫുഡ് കണ്ടുപിടിച്ച് കഴിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പോൾ അതിന് എന്താണ് വാട്ടർ സർക്കുലേഷന്റെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് വരുന്നില്ല. സ്പോഞ്ചസിലെ the water circulation is important. Why? Because they are found attached on certain surfaces and they are sessile. This water current is caused by വെള്ളം എന്ത് പറ്റും? We have mentioned before that is the water enters into the body of sponge through ostia, reaches the spongocoel, goes out through osculum. And the water which is coming inside will carry food, oxygen, etc. And the water which is moving out will take away the excretory products and the reproductive elements such as the gametes or the reproductive cells. Then the course of water current from outside, water goes through the ostia, incurrent pore, that is then spongocoel, goes out through osculum. And this is a much more precise way, that is the water comes in through dermal ostia, reaches the incurrent canal, then through the prosopiles it reaches the radial canal or the main canal, then apopyle, then excurrent canal, spongocoel, osculum, and the water goes out. We'll see one by one. Canal system. Canal system means the sponge's body, the water current flows through certain spaces inside the body of sponges. The water flows through certain spaces and this space is collectively called the canal system. Inside the body of sponge, the water flows through sponges in the body. വെള്ളം ഫ്ലോ ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ദാറ്റ് സിസ്റ്റം ഇസ് കോൾഡ് കനാൽ. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ചെറിയ ചെറിയ എന്താണ്, കനാൽ മീൻസ് ചെറിയ ചാനൽസ് പോലെ ബോഡിയുടെ പല പല ഭാഗത്തോട്ടും വെള്ളം ഒഴുകുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇറ്റ്സ് കോൾഡ് എ കനാൽ സിസ്റ്റം. Then there are 3 types of canal system in sponges. അങ്ങനെ the different types of canal system in sponges are 1 ascon type, 2 cycon type, or 3 Lucan type, and we also say as asconoid, cyconoid, and lucanoid type of canal system in sponges. Then these system different, and these 3 canal system differ variably with increasing complexity. We'll see one by one. First is the asconoid type. The asconoid sponges shaped like a simple tube. In this picture you can see they look like a simple tube which is perforated by pores. The asconoid type have a look like a simple tube which is perforated by large number of openings. Then there is a single opening. This is the simplest type. Asconoid type is the simplest type of canal system. Ascon type or asconoid type. Canal system ascon type അല്ലെങ്കിൽ asconoid type of sponge. Then simplest type of canal system, നടുക്ക് ഒരു ഓപ്പണിംഗ് ക്യാവിറ്റി ഉണ്ട്, അതിന്റെ പേരാണ് സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ. Then ബോഡിയുടെ ചുറ്റും ഉള്ള ഇൻകറന്റ് പോഴ്സ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഓസ്റ്റിയ വഴി the water comes inside. Then സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിനെ ലൈൻ ചെയ്ത് കാണുന്ന സെൽസ് എന്താണ്? We have learned that is they are the collar cells or coinocytes. അപ്പോൾ ഈ coinocyte cells എന്തുണ്ട്? flagella ഉണ്ട്. So this flagella helps in the movement of water into the body, into the collar cells. വെള്ളം പോഴ്സ് വഴി അകത്തേക്ക് വരുന്നു അല്ലേ? ഇനി ഈ അകത്ത് വരുന്ന വെള്ളത്തിൽ നിന്നും എന്താണ്? the water will enter into this coinocytes അല്ലേ? coinocytes എന്തുണ്ട്? flagella ഉണ്ട്. So by the continuous beating of flagella, the water which contains the food particle will enter into the coinocyte or the collar cell, and the food particles will be trapped by this coinocytes. The food vacuoles in the coinocytes will digest the food particle and the remaining water will be sent back to the spongiocele. അങ്ങനെ സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിനകത്ത് ആദ്യം വെള്ളം വരുന്നു. ആ വെള്ളത്തിലുള്ള ഫുഡ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസിനെ എല്ലാം ഫിൽട്ടർ ചെയ്ത് നമ്മുടെ എന്താണ് കോയിനോസൈറ്റ്സിനകത്ത് കയറും. ഫുഡ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ഡൈജസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. വേസ്റ്റ് പ്രോഡക്ട്സിനെ തിരിച്ച് എന്താണ് വേസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ആർ സെൻഡ് ബാക്ക് ഇൻ ടു ദ സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ, ആൻഡ് ദിസ് വാട്ടർ ഇസ് മൂവിംഗ് ഔട്ട് ത്രൂ ദ ഓസ്കുലം. ഇതിനെയാണ് asconoid type of canal system and asconoid type of canal system എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Hope it's clear. Asconoid type is the simplest type of canal system in sponge. They are found in asconoid sponges. The water enters into the spongiocele through the openings called the ostia. Then the water will contain food particles, and these food particles are entrapped by the coinocytes and it will be digested. The excretory products will be sent back into the spongiocele. സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ എപ്പോഴും വെള്ളം കാണും. ആ സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ എക്സ്ക്രീറ്ററി പ്രോഡക്ട്സ് എത്തുന്നു. വേസ്റ്റ് മെറ്റീരിയൽസ് എല്ലാം കൂടെ തിരിച്ച് ഓസ്കുലം വഴി പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകുന്നു. So they are the simplest. This is asconoid type is the simplest organization. They are small, branched and tube shaped. Examples are Leucosolenia, Clathrina canariensis. So water comes in through ostia, spongiocele, and through the osculum it goes out. This is asconoid type. Next is cyconoid type or cycon type. Cycon type or cycanoid type. Cycanoid type or cycon type, and this is much more complex than the ascenoid type, and the cycanoid sponges are larger than the ascenoids and they have a tubular body with a single osculum. The cycanoid sponge body wall is thicker. The difference is cycanoid, you can see here, plain, but here you can see the body wall is thicker. The body wall is thicker and the pores penetrate it are longer, forming a system of simple canals. Curvy. And they have a system of canals inside. So the cycanoid type is a more complex canal system and they are found in cycanoid sponges. They are derived from the ascenoid type and they have two types of canal, incurrent and radial. Idana difference. The main difference between ascenoid and cycanoid is that they have two types of canal, that is the incurrent canal and the radial canal. They have the incurrent canal and the radial canal. For incurrent canals, they will be moving to the radial canals and then they will be coming into the spongocoel. So they have two types of canals, incurrent and radial. This is the point which you have to stress about the cycanoid type. Cycanoid type sponge ന്റെ കാര്യം പറയുമ്പോൾ പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും ഓർത്തിരിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമാണ് this. They have two types. Ascenoid simple ആണ്. Cycanoid have two types of canal, that is the body wall have large number of infoldings. ഇല്ലേ, body wall thick ആണ്, അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ എന്താണ്, infoldings ഉണ്ട്. Finger-like projections are found throughout the body and they have two types of canals, incurrent and the radial canal, which are paralleling and alternating with each other. Then the incurrent canals are non-flagellated and radial canals are flagellated. You can see here the incurrent canals are non-flagellated. They are simply actually the having the non-flagellated cells, but the radial canals have flagella. See, just look here. Incurrent canals in the layerless cells flagella illa. Incurrent canal incurrent canal cells flagella illa. But radial canal cells you can see brush bordered here. They are flagellated. Then they have two openings, that is the dermal ostia and prosopiles. They have two openings, that is the dermal ostia, that is this one. They have dermal ostia and prosopiles. Prosopiles means there is an opening between these cells. Prosopile. Look here. This is what a prosopile is. So they are having two types of openings, dermal ostia and prosopiles. Dermal means skin in the peripheral layer, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ outer layerലുള്ള openings നെയാണ് dermal. Dermal means something related with the skin. So dermal ostia and prosopiles. Prosopiles are the openings which is found in between these cells. Then spongocoel is narrow. മറ്റ് എന്താണ് ascenoid type which compare ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ you can see ascenoid എന്തായിരുന്നു, it was simply like this അല്ലേ. ascenoid ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു simple ആയിട്ട് ഉള്ള ഒരു arrangement ആയിരുന്നു. spongocoel വലുതായിരുന്നു ascenoid type. But here the spongocoel is narrow and non-flagellated. Just look here, this is the spongocoel. ഈ ഒരു ഭാഗത്ത് if you look, the cells which are facing towards the spongocoel are non-flagellated and it is lined by pinacocytes. That is another main difference. It is lined by pinacocytes. sides. So the difference between ascenoid and sycanoid are. Sycanoid type of canal system എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കുറച്ചുകൂടെ കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആണ് when compared to ascenoid type. And the sycanoid type have two types of canals. That is the incurrent and the radial canal. രണ്ട് തരം canals ഉണ്ട്. Incurrent canal and the radial canal. This is the incurrent canal. ഇവിടെ കാണുന്നത് ഇതാണ് incurrent canal and this is a radial canal. അപ്പോൾ incurrent canal and radial canal എന്താണ് എപ്പോഴും parallel ആയിരിക്കും. Incurrent canals are two types of canals, incurrent and radial. This is the radial canal and this is a incurrent canal. അപ്പോൾ this just look here. ഇല്ലേ ഇങ്ങനെ ആയിരിക്കും. And this is the radial canal. And this is the incurrent canal. So radial canalum incurrent canalum എപ്പോഴും parallel ആയിരിക്കും. They will be paralleling. അല്ലേ ഇവിടെ ഒരു radial canal അതിന്റെ parallel ആയിട്ട് incurrent canal അടുത്ത radial canal അതാണ് alternating. Two types of canal system are parallel and alternate. എന്നുവെച്ചാൽ ഒരു radial ഒരു incurrent, ഒരു radial ഒരു incurrent, ഒരു radial ഒരു incurrent. അങ്ങനെയാണ് canal system is formed. അവർ parallel ആണ് കണ്ട ഇത് this is parallel to this one, this is parallel to this one. So two types of canal, incurrent, radial, they are parallel and they alternate each other. ഇനി അടുത്ത പ്രത്യേകത, the incurrent canals are non-flagellated and radial canals are flagellated. The incurrent canals are flagellated. Incurrent canal ഉള്ള cells flagella ഉണ്ട്. But the radial canals, the incurrent canals are radial and incurrent canals. The incurrent canals are non-flagellated and the radial canals have flagellated cells. The radial canals are flagellated. The radial canals are flagellated but the incurrent canals are non-flagellated cells. Then two openings are present, that is the dermal ostia and prosopiles. രണ്ട് തരം openings ഉണ്ട്. Dermal ostia is there. Then they have prosopiles, that is the openings which is found in between these cells. Then the spongocoel is narrow and non-flagellated and it is lined by pinacocytes. Ascenoidal എന്തായിരുന്നു? Coalocytes അല്ലെങ്കിൽ coinocytes ആയിരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ sycanoid type it is lined by pinacocytes. Examples, Scypha and Grantia. Then the incoming water through the dermal ostia will reach the incurrent canals and from the incurrent canals through the prosopiles. Just have a look at, and you need to write down and sketch this picture also for clear understanding. Then the incoming water is through the dermal ostia. It reaches the incurrent canals. Incurrent canal വെള്ളം എത്തുന്നു. Incurrent canals എത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ prosopiles വഴി അത് radial canal എത്തുന്നു. Incurrent canal ആദ്യം വെള്ളം എത്തുന്നു. Incurrent canal എത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ prosopiles വഴി the water reaches the radial canals and through the apopiles. Radial canals നിന്നും through the apopiles. These are the openings. Apopiles നിന്നും the water reaches the spongocele. Here you can see the apopiles. Apopiles are the radial canals openings. Openings vary, the water reaches the spongocele, and from the spongocele the water move out through the osculum towards the outside. So cycanoid വെള്ളം ആദ്യം ഓസ്റ്റിയ വഴി ഇൻകറന്റ് കനാൽ, ഇൻകറന്റ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഫസ്റ്റ് the water current reaches the incurrent canal, or which is directing water towards the body of sponge. Through the dermal ostia reaches the incurrent canals, and the incurrent canal have openings called the prosopiles. Through the prosopiles the water reaches the radial canal. Radial canal എന്താണ്? Flagellated cells ആണ്. Apopiles വഴി it reaches the spongoceles. Radial canals നകത്ത് flagellated cells ആയ choanocytes ഉണ്ട്. Choanocytes എന്താണ്? Food particles ട്രാപ്പ് ചെയ്യപ്പെടുന്നു. എന്നിട്ട് വേസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് തിരിച്ച് അപ്പോപൈൽസ് വഴി തിരിച്ച് സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിലേക്ക് വരുന്നു. സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിൽ നിന്നും വേസ്റ്റ് പ്രോഡക്ട്സും എക്സസ് വാട്ടറും ബോഡിയുടെ പുറത്തേക്ക് കളയുന്നു. This is what is known as cycanoid type. Then next one is the leucan type or leucanoid type. Leucan type or leucanoid type. Leucan type or leucanoid type. They are the more complex. ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളതാണ് leucanoid type. Ascanoid simple, cycanoid കുറച്ച് കോംപ്ലക്സ്, കുറച്ചുകൂടെ കോംപ്ലക്സ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളതാണ് leucanoid type അല്ലെങ്കിൽ leucan type of canal system, and they are derived from the cycanoid type, and these are the large and the most complex sponges, and the sponges are made up of numerous canals, and the canals lead to small chambers lined by the flagellated cells. So the more complex canal system than the cycan type, and they are derived from the cycan type. The flagellated chambers are lined by the choanocytes, and here you can see the water enters through the pores, then it reaches another branched network called the group of cells called the choanocytes. ഇല്ലേ, വെള്ളം ഓസ്റ്റിയ വഴി അകത്തേക്ക് കടന്നു വരുന്നു, എന്നിട്ട് അത് വേറെ ഒരു ബ്രാഞ്ച്ഡ് നെറ്റ്വർക്കിനകത്ത് കയറുന്നു, and that network contain the choanocytes. അതിലാണ് choanocytes ഉള്ളത്, and that choanocytes will digest the food which is trapped in. So all the spaces are, ഇവിടെ മാത്രമേ, let's have a look here, ഈ റീജിയനിൽ മാത്രമാണ് flagellated cells കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്. Only these regions have flagellated cells. Only these regions have flagellated cells, and these flagellated cells help in digestion. So the incurrent can, all other cells, ബാക്കിയുള്ള എല്ലാ സ്ഥലത്തെയും സെൽസ് എന്താണ്? പിനാക്കോസൈറ്റ്സ് ആണ്. പിനാക്കോസൈറ്റ്സ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഫ്ലജല്ല ഒന്നുമില്ല, ഫ്ലാറ്റ് സെൽസ് ആണ്. So incurrent canals open into the flagellated cluster. Incurrent canal എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇതാണ്. Incurrent canal വഴി വെള്ളം എത്തിയതിനു ശേഷം they open into this chamber. Incurrent canal ഇതുവഴി വെള്ളം വന്നതിന് ശേഷം വെള്ളം ഇതിനകത്തോട്ട് കയറുന്നു. ഇതിനകത്തോട്ട് കയറിയിട്ട് ഓരോ സെൽസിലോട്ടും the water reaches, and from there it comes back to the spongocele. അപ്പോൾ leucanoid ടൈപ്പിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്താണ്? The spongocele is very very narrow. അല്ലേ, ആസ്കനോയിഡിൽ വലിയ സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ, സൈക്കനോയിഡിൽ കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ചെറിയ സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ. ലൂക്കനോയിഡിൽ വരുമ്പോൾ എന്താണ്? സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ is very much reduced. The incurrent canal open into the flagellated cluster chambers through the prosopiles. Incurrent canal നിന്ന് prosopiles വഴി it reaches the chambers where choanocytes are found. Then through the and opens to the excurrent canals through the apopiles. Apopiles വഴി തിരിച്ച് അത് സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിലേക്ക് വരുന്നു. സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിൽ നിന്നും the water will be moving out through the osculum. Example is spongilla. And this is the water current movement. Incoming water dermal ostia vadi incurrent canals il ettunnu, prosopiles vadi adu flagella. These are the prosopiles. Prosopiles vadi they reaches the flagellated chambers. Flagellated chamber la arunda choanocyte allengil collar cells, and they do digestion. They take or trap the food particles, and through the apopiles the water reaches the excurrent canals. Through the osculum the water will be moving out. This is a leuconoid type. It is more complex compared to other two types, and the spongocoel is very reduced or even absent in some forms. Hope it's clear the three types of canal system, and this is a summary of canal system. Three types of canal system: ascenoid, sycanoid and leuconoid. Just have a look. This is a ascenoid means large spongocoel. Sycanoid means small spongocoel. Sycanoid means the spongocoel is reduced. Spongocoel is reduced. Ascenoid endana porocytes vadi vellam agathekku varunu, spongocoel ettunnu, porthekku povunu. It is very simple. But in sycanoid, what happens? The water comes in through the, see here the picture shows the water current movement. The water comes through the incurrent canal. From the incurrent canal, the water moves the radial canal. Radial canal have flagellated cells, and from the radial canal, the water through the apopyle. Radial canal opening in a parayana perana apopyle. Apopyle vadi tirichadu spongocoel എത്തുന്നു. സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ എത്തിയതിനു ശേഷം സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിൽ നിന്ന് പുറത്തേക്ക് വെള്ളം ഓസ്കുലം വഴി പോകുന്നു. അതാണ് സൈക്കനോയിഡ് ടൈപ്പ്. സൈക്കനോയിഡ് ടൈപ്പ് ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് മച്ച് മോർ കോംപ്ലെക്സ്. ദ സ്പോഞ്ചോസീൽ ഇസ് റെഡ്യൂസ്ഡ്. The leuconoid type is the most complex one. It is then here the spongocoel is very much reduced, and the water moves into a chamber of flagellated cells. Ivide oru network branch pole, you can see here a branched network through which the water is moving in. The water which comes in will reach this network of cells where the collar cells or choanocytes are found, and from here the water reaches the spongocoel towards the osculum. This is just brief. I have mentioned in detail the different types of cells and how the water moves. Now we move to the classification of sponges. The classification of sponges. Sponges are divided in the phylum porifera is divided into three classes: class Calcarea, Hexactinellida and Desmospongiae. And this classification is mainly based on the type of spicules or the chemical composition of spicule. The classification of sponge is based on the chemical composition of the spicules. We will see one by one. First is class Calcarea. Class Calcarea commonly we call the calcareous sponges. They are small in size. You can have a look at this picture. This is an example, and they are small in size. The calcareous sponges are small in size. Size ചെറുതാണ്, and they are cylindrical. Tube പോലത്തെ. They are cylindrical sponges, and they look like vase, flower vase. The appearance they have look like a vase. Then the sponges possess spicules which is composed of calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate, that is very important. The spicules of sponges is made up of calcium carbonate. Spicule is calcium carbonate, CaCO3. So the spicules are calcareous, means it is made up of calcium carbonate. Then the spicules are straight and have 3 to 4 rays. Spicules straight ആയിരിക്കും, ഒന്നോ രണ്ടോ rays extensions കാണാം. And all the sponges which comes under this Calcareous, class Calcarea are marine and they are found in shallow waters. All are marine and they are specially found in shallow waters. And the body organization of the canal system. Canal system, ascenoid type ava, cycloid or even leuconoid type. Examples are the Leucosolenia, Scypha and or Scypha is also called cycon. Scypha or cycon. And cycon is a Calcarean marine sponge. ഇതിനകത്ത് വരുന്ന എല്ലാം marine ആണ്. They are the Scypha or cycon is a Calcarean marine sponge and it is found attached on the substratum like rock, shell, mollusk and corals. ഏതെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ substratum attach ചെയ്തിരിക്കും. The body is branched and consists of cup-shaped or cylindrical branch. ഇതുപോലെ attach ചെയ്ത് ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് ഓരോ branches ഒക്കെ കാണാം. And all the branches are connected at the base. Here, ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു branch ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ if this is a sponge, they have branch like this, but they have a common base. They will be found attached on the common base, and this is called the base. And the body will be having large number of openings called the ostia and a common opening called the osculum through which the water is moving outside. The body is soft and it is slightly flexible. ഇത്തരം സ്പോഞ്ചുകളുടെ calcareous sponges ന്റെ body കുറച്ച് flexible ആയിരിക്കും. And we can have a look at the specimen which is kept in our department also. The body is soft and it is slightly flexible and the body surface is rough due to the presence of the monaxon spicules. This is a monaxon spicules. The spicules are monaxon spicules called the oxiotes. Then the cycle reproduces asexually and sexually by the sperms and ovum from the archaeocytes. Archaeocytes are actually totipotent cells. Archaeocytes എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ archaeocytes are totipotent cell. Totipotent cell എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്ത് തരം സെല്ലായിട്ടും ഡിഫറൻഷിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നതിനെയാണ് totipotent cells എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So archaeocytes and amoebocytes in sponges are totipotent cells. So they will be converted into during the reproductive phase. They will be converted to the sperms and egg. And the larval stage found is called the amphiblastula. We'll come to the larval stage later. Then next, this is class Calcarea, which includes sponges made up of calcareous spicules. Next is class Hexactinellida or Hydrospongiae or Hyalospongiae. They are moderate sized glass sponges. They are the sponges which is having siliceous spicules. The spicules are made up of silica. Adana glass sponges in the glass they are very very beautiful. They are the glass sponges. The skeleton is made up of silica. Spicules silica kondana. They are the siliceous spicules. They are the siliceous spicules. They are the siliceous spicule and the body shape is urn shape or vase shape. So it has the shape of a flower vase and it is characterized by siliceous spicules and it consists of 6 rays. That's why it's called Hexactinellida. Hexa means 6. You just have a look here. hexactinellida, hexactin അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 6 pointed edges ഉള്ള spicules കൊണ്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നത് കൊണ്ടാണ് they are called hexactinellida. Hexactin means the spicules have 6 corners. It consists of 6 rays intersecting at right angles. And they are exclusively marine and are found in the deep sea. Example, Euplectella. It's also called Venus flower basket. You will get question like this. Write note on Euplectella, or you may be asked what is a Venus flower basket. Venus flower basket is Euplectella, which is a glass sponge. So, the hexactinellida include glass sponges. The spicule is made up of silica. Then the silica have the spicule have 6 rays. That is why it got the name hexactinellida. Hexactin അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 6 rays ഉള്ള spicules ആണ്. So they are called hexactinellida. ഇത്തരം spicules ആണ്. This type of spicules are found in this type of sponges. They are exclusively marine and they are found in deep sea. Then the body wall of glass sponge is a syncytium. Body wall is called the syncytium. Syncytium എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ എന്താണ്? Syncytium means a layer of cells. Body wall is made up of, is a syncytium means large or multinucleated cytoplasm is enclosed by an external membrane, but it is not divided into cells by internal membrane. A layer of cells is found at the outer region. Syncytium means a large or extensive multinucleated cytoplasm which is enclosed by an external membrane. ഇതിനെയാണ് syncytium എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. Now, they have choanocytes or the collar cells by which they trap the food particles, but the choanocytes lack nucleus. The choanocytes or the collar cells will not have nucleus. The collar cells or the choanocytes is devoid of nucleus. And the glass sponges are found worldwide in great depths of the ocean, and they are very beautiful. They are sessile, they are cylindrical, and they have a glassy appearance, and the body is perforated by ostia, and the common opening is called the osculum. Examples are Euplectella, which is called the Venus flower basket. So that is very, the skeleton of the Venus flower basket is very beautiful, and it is rigid because of the siliceous spicules there. And they have, and this sponge, another peculiarity of the sponges is actually the sponges are white in color because they are made up of calcium carbonate, they are made up of silica, they are made up of spicules. They are simply, this picture shows they are actually white in color, but the presence of some symbionts, maybe some algae or maybe some cyanobacteria will be found attached onto the surface of sponges, and that gives color to sponges. They are actually white in color. So because some organisms are found as common cells on the body of sponge, and that gives the color to the sponges. Now next is class Desmospongiae, and Desmospongiae is the largest and most diverse of the class. Desmospongiae ആണ് ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ, this is the largest class with more number of sponges. Almost 90% of the sponges are found in class Desmospongiae. Greater than 90% of the non-living sponge or the extant sponge. ഇപ്പോൾ ജീവിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നതാണ്. Extant means there which are found now. Extantന്റെ opposite ആണ് extinct. So ഇപ്പോൾ ഉള്ള സ്പോഞ്ചുകളിൽ 90% സ്പോഞ്ചസും class Desmospongiae ആണ് വരുന്നത്. They are class Desmospongiae comprise the largest group of sponges. Then ചെറിയ സ്പോഞ്ച് മുതൽ large sized vase shaped, cup shaped sponges, ball shaped sponges are found in class Desmospongiae, and the spicules are made up of spongin fibers. The spicules are made up of spongin fibers. Spongin means simply protein. The spicules are made of spongin fibers mainly, or some sponges have made up of silica, or in some sponges both spongin fiber and silica will be present. Then siliceous spicule with 1 to 4 rays are found. Then all members are leuconoid type, means complex type of canal system aanulladu. They have leuconoid type of canal system with small spongiosity. Leuconoid type of canal system is found in class Desmospongiae, and they are found mostly in the continental shelf and in well oxygenated habitats. All are marine, and this is the only class where freshwater sponges are found. മറ്റ് എന്താണ് നമ്മുടെ calcaria ആയാലും hexactinid ആയാലും they are exclusively marine. Freshwater sponge ഉള്ള ഒറ്റ ക്ലാസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ക്ലാസ് Desmospongiae ആണ്. Desmospongiaeക്കകത്ത് marine forms-നെയും freshwater sponges-നെയും include ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. And the freshwater sponges are included in the family called Spongillidae. Freshwater sponges-നെ include ചെയ്തേക്കുന്നത് they are found in Spongillidae. Example, Spongilla. Freshwater sponge example ആണ് Spongilla എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോൾ Desmospongiae characters എന്താണ്? Largest group ആണ്. The spicule is made up of spongin fiber, that is proteinaceous spongin fibers, or ചിലതിൽ siliceous spicules കാണാറുണ്ട്, ചിലതിൽ spongin fibers siliceous spicules കാണാറുണ്ട്. Then they have leuconoid type of canal system, which is more complex with small spongiosity, and they are found in the continental shelf. All are marine, but only very few are freshwater. Freshwater sponges ulla family parayna perana Spongillidae. They are called Spongillidae, and example is Spongilla. Then another peculiarity of this Desmospongiae is that Desmospongiae ulla amoebocytes of Desmospongiae. Desmospongiae മറ്റ് സ്പോഞ്ചിൽ നിന്നും, അതായത് നമ്മുടെ calcareous sponge, calcareous sponge, glass sponges വൈറ്റ് കളറാണ്. അതിൽ കമൻസാലിസും അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മറ്റ് ഓർഗാനിസംസ് വന്ന് പറ്റിപ്പിടിച്ചിരിക്കുമ്പോഴാണ് അതിന് കളർ കൊടുക്കുന്നത്. പക്ഷേ Desmospongiae the pigment granules are found in amoebocytes. അപ്പോൾ amoebocytes എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ്? These are the amoebocytes which are found in mesoglea. അല്ലേ, mesogliaയിൽ കാണുന്ന സെൽസിനെയാണ് amoebocytes എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. ഈ amoebocytesൽ certain pigments are found. Certain pigments are found in the amoebocytes. Certain pigments are found in the amoebocytes. Like that depends on the type of pigment. Some pigment are red in color, some are purple, some are green, and some are yellow in color. So these are the group of sponge which are colored. Color ulla sponge വരുന്നതാണ് Desmospongiae. Desmospongiae sponges ന്റെ amoebocytes. Amoebocytes are the cells which are found in mesoglea. Mesogliaയിലുള്ള amoebocyte cells pigments ഉണ്ട്. അല്ലേ, നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ pigment, melanin, human beings ന്റെ കേസിൽ we say melanin. Then chlorophyll, plants in the case which gives green color. Then carotene. അങ്ങനെ ഒത്തിരി പല different types of pigments are found in the Desmospongian sponges, and that gives color to this sponges. ഇപ്പോൾ desmospongeal വരുന്നത് yellowയും redും brightly colored ആയിരിക്കും. I'll show you some pictures at the end. Now this is the classification. So classification include classification of phylum porifera is based on the chemical constitution of the spicules. The spicules are made up of calcium carbonate. There are three classes. Class Calcareae. Calcareae, the sponges, the spicules are made up of calcium carbonate. Second one is class Hexactinellida, commonly called the glass sponges. They are marine and the spicules are made up of silica or siliceous spicules. Example, Euplectella. Third class is Desmospongiae. The spicules are made up of spongin fibers which are proteinaceous, or they will be having siliceous spicule or both. അതായത് siliceous spicules spongin fibers കൂടെ ചേർന്നുണ്ടായ spicules കാണാറുണ്ട്. Then the class Desmospongiae is the only class which include the freshwater sponges. Freshwater sponges വരുന്ന ഫാമിലിയെ പറയുന്നതാണ് Spongillidae. Example is Spongilla. Then they are the pigmented sponges. Why pigmented? The pigment is present in the amoebocytes. So example is Spongilla. And this Spongilla is a freshwater sponge which is found in pond, lake and streams. They are the colonial form and it is usually found attached onto the here you can see they are found attached onto twigs or the this is a marine sponge. This is not Spongilla. This is a marine sponge, and they are usually the Spongilla is usually found attached onto this wooden log or rock. Then reproduce sexually or asexually by the formation of gemmules. So coming to the reproduction in sponges, the marine sponges reproduce by budding, fragmentation and regeneration. Budding, fragmentation and regeneration. Then freshwater sponges, they reproduce by formation of gemmules. I've said gemmules in the chala. Archaeocytes. It is a flask-shaped cells which have archaeocytes inside and an opening called micropyle. Then they reproduce by budding, fragmentation and regeneration. The sponges the sponges are monoecious or hermaphrodite. They are dioecious, and the sperm and ova are derived from the archaeocytes. Archaeocytes il ninnana sperms allengil ova differentiate cheyyunnathu. Then sperms are released to outside through the water. ഇല്ലേ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു സ്പോഞ്ചോസീലിനകത്ത് നിന്നും വെള്ളം പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകുന്നതിനോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ the sperms are released to the outside. They either show external fertilization or even self-fertilization is very rare. So, these sperms are released osculum vadi vellam പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകുന്നതിനോട് കൂടെ തന്നെ spermsum പുറത്തേക്ക് പോകുന്നു. Then choanocytes act as the nurse cells which transport the sperm to ova. ഈ choanocytes-ന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്താണ്? Choanocytes are totipotent cells. Choanocytes nutritionum help ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. They also is differentiated to form the sperms and ova. Then there are two types of larval stages, amphiblastula and parenchyma. Amphiblastula, this is amphiblastula larva and this is parenchyma larva. Amphiblastula is a characteristic of calcareous sponge. Calcareous sponge ന്റെ എല്ലാം larval stage എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് amphiblastula ആണ്. Then parenchyma is the characteristic of Hexactinellida and Desmospongiae. ഇപ്പോൾ രണ്ട് larval stage ഉണ്ട്, amphiblastulaയും ഉണ്ട്, parenchymaയും ഉണ്ട്. Amphiblastula എന്താണ്? Calcareous sponge അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മുടെ calcareous sponges, calcareaയിൽ വരുന്ന spongesന്റെ larval form ആണ് amphiblastula. Parenchyma is the characteristic larval form of Hexactinellida and Desmospongial of most Desmospongial sponges. So these are some of the pictures of sponges. This is a branching sponge. This is a branching sponge. These are some of the examples of sponges. This is a branching tube sponge. This looks like a tube, I said. എന്താണ് ഡെസ്മോസ്പോഞ്ചിയയിൽ വരുന്ന സ്പോഞ്ചസിനായിരിക്കും കളർ ഉള്ളത്. അല്ലാത്ത സ്പോഞ്ചസിന് എന്താണ് കമൻസാലിസം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ സിംബയോട്ടിക് റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ് സൈനോബാക്ടീരിയ ഒക്കെ കാണിക്കുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് it gives color to the sponges. So this is a branching tube sponge. See, all the sponges are found attached. ഇല്ലേ എപ്പോഴും സ്പോഞ്ചസ് ഒരു സർഫസിൽ അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്തിരിക്കും or they are sessile. That is why they have a canal system. ഇല്ലേ ആസ്കനോയിഡ് സൈക്കനോയിഡ് ലൂക്കനോയിഡ് ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് canal system ഉണ്ടെന്ന് പറയേണ്ട കാര്യം എന്താണ് അത് ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് അറ്റാച്ച് ചെയ്താണ് ഇരിക്കുന്നത്. They can't move around in search of food. They can only trap the food which is coming near the sponges. But here on the top you can see എല്ലാത്തിന്റെയും ഓസ്കുലം കണ്ടോ. This is a osculum, this is osculum, osculum, here is the osculum, you can see the osculum, here this is osculum. So this is, they are always found attached, and this is a vase sponge, this is a tube sponge, this is a looks like a pipe, that is a pipe sponge. Then the barrel sponge which looks like a barrel, this is a barrel sponge. Then ball sponge which look like a ball. Then rope sponge which is very thin and slender. So with this I conclude today's session with the pictures of different types of sponges, and in today's session was about the different types of canal system, ascanoid, cycanoid and leucanoid type of canal system. Then about the classification of sponges, calcarea classification of phylum porifera is based on the type of the chemical composition of spicules. They have, the phylum porifera have 3 classes: class calcarea with calcareous spicules, class hexactinellida with siliceous spicules, class desmospongiae with spongin fibers and siliceous spicules. With this, I conclude the session. Thank you.